Good evening, you are watching Ben Shatliff Tonight on Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. Hopefully everybody is well, and thank you to all of those that very kindly stayed up and were tuning in to Ben Shatliff Online throughout the night and throughout the day on the various different broadcasts that we've done. Right, we've had a general election, an all-nighter. We've had a US election all-nighter. No more late nights. I've still not been to bed as such as yet. I will be not too far away going to bed, but I still wanted to leave bed chat tonight because also a few other stuff as well. I've had a little bit of sitting down and going to a deep doze for a few moments, but I'm okay. Nice refreshing sleep tonight and back to normality, as they say, tomorrow. Well, what a night, as the saying goes. Donald Trump is back as President of the United States of America. Well, he will be from when he's inaugurated at the end of January of next year. But the big questions now come from this. That is, what will happen for Ukraine? What will happen as far as the Middle East is concerned? And, of course, as far as the UK is concerned, what will happen in terms of the special relationship. Boris Johnson, who was speaking on Channel 4's programme last night, seemed to think that things will be okay for Ukraine still. But let's see exactly what the situation is. And the advice I would give to Joe Biden, that's if he is actually able to take any advice and just doesn't think he'll just do something himself. But the advice I would give to Joe Biden as he stands now, you've got 2 months until you are officially out of office. So why don't you give Ukraine the permission to use those weapons in Russia and get this war ended? Give Ukraine everything that they need to get this war ended before Trump comes into power. And do the good things to try and bring peace and reconciliation in the Middle East as well. That we're thinking I've got 2 months, let's go out on a high and start doing like a glory trip around different parts of the world. Do some good so you can get yourself a legacy of goodness before you leave power. As far as the Democrats are concerned, was anything learnt at all from 2016? When all that they did was attack, not say what they were going to do, whereas Trump said what he was going to do as well as attacking. Did all these celebrities actually really do anything at all, or was it just a turn off? And who was responsible for that poll that said that Kamala Harris was 3 points ahead at the weekend in Ohio? That led people like myself to think, hey, we've got this wrong. It's not going to be Trump that wins. There's an opportunity here. Is it too close to corner? I thought, no, I'll call it for Kamala Harris. So something's been going on behind the scenes during this election campaign. Various different polls saying all kinds of different things. And then when, in essence, it was exactly as was being expected for quite, or certainly for the last couple of weeks. But we won't need to do this one again for another 4 years. We may not need to do a UK general election one for 4 or 5 years, but we never know in the UK. These things can, of course, happen at any particular time. But let's just take a look at the stories which are bringing the news to us around the world on this Wednesday evening. I'll go to the ITV News app. Hopefully I have the fresh one. I was doing the wrong information last night, but I'll go to the ITV News app. But I'm going away from the US election. Let's see what else has been going on around the world. Three men have been arrested in connection with an explosion in Newcastle, which claimed 2 lives, including a 7-year-old boy. Northumbria police have been investigating since the incident in Violet Close in Benwell in the early hours of Wednesday, October 16th. Archie York, who was 7, and Jason Laws, 35, both died in the blast. The force confirmed on Wednesday, November 6th, that's today, that 3 men, 2 in their 30s and 1 in his 50s, have been arrested. Each has been arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of manslaughter and the production of a Class B drug, namely cannabis. They remain in police custody. Now, following up from a story last night in relation to Sarah Sharif, her father has denied beating the 10-year-old, claiming that his wife was the crazy one in the house and had black magic done on her. Taxi driver Irfan Sharif, 42, his wife Binash Batul, 30, and brother Faisal Malik, 29, are on trial at the Old Bailey, accused of Sarah's murder on August 8th last year. Giving evidence on Wednesday, Sharif said, "Everything happened at home while I was at work. I did not beat her, do anything to her." He denied Batul's claims in WhatsApp messages to her sisters that he had beaten Sarah up like crazy over at least 2 years. In the Middle East, Israel's parliament has passed 2 laws that could prevent the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees from being able to provide aid to people in Gaza. The laws, which would come into effect in 90 days, would ban the UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, from operating in Israel. It would also designate it as a terror organisation and cut all ties between the agency and the Israeli government. Kemi Badenoch has urged the Prime Minister to apologise for comments by his Foreign Secretary calling President Trump a neo-Nazi sympathiser. The new Conservative leader used her first Prime Minister's questions earlier today to hit out at Starmer over his relationship with newly elected Trump, urging him to invite the President to Parliament. Both Starmer and Badenoch congratulated Trump on his election victory before the Conservative leader asked the Prime Minister and Foreign Secretary David Lammy to apologise for comments Lammy made in 2018. ITV News has uncovered a series of videos repeatedly served to young Ukrainians on TikTok, urging them not to fight in the war against Russia and even sharing tips and links on how to flee the country to avoid conscription. Before the war, Hacker worked as a video producer and was a singer-songwriter, but he is now serving on the front line in eastern Ukraine as a reconnaissance drone operator. At 33, Hacker is one of the millions of Ukrainian men who have been conscripted, which means by law he had to join the army and fight for his country unless he had a valid reason not to. He spoke to ITV using via video call from his unit's military base in the eastern Ukraine. We had to reschedule our interview 3 times because he was repeatedly called out to the combat zone. You can see more on that on the ITV News app. Okay, I was trying to steer away from the US election. We've spoken all about the US election. Right, okay. Thank you to everybody who watches the programs I do here on YouTube. Thank you for paying attention, watching, whether you do it for loyalty, friendship, or whatever, or family, whatever. Thank you very, very much indeed. Now, I will be back tomorrow evening. All of this week we're doing Ben Shatliff Tonight. We might still have some further fallouts from this US election result, but we've done it as much justice as we could over the last 24 hours. We'll take a break now, and we will be back tomorrow evening at around 7:30. In the meantime, take care, good night, God bless, and have a good evening. Goodbye for now.